race for the new continent began, including the France, the British Empire, and the natives.
The British won, but it was at the cost of a lot of money. So what did they do? They began taxing their colonies for everything, their stamps and their tea. Enraged, a band of patriots from Boston began heckling British Guard soldiers, throwing snowballs to rocks to oysters. The British Guards, in retaliation and in panic, shot 5 patriots, now known as the Boston Massacre, kickstarting the war.
The Revolutionary War.
They fought and fought and fought, and in the end, they were victorious. Of course, it was with the help of the France, the Spain, and the Netherlands. Soon after, they decided to write their own form of government, which their first draft was Articles of Confederation. Because they were scared of tyranny, they decided to write the Articles of Confederation in such a way that made each state very sovereign, with the central government being very weak. This caused many problems. First of all, the Articles of Confederation had issues with keeping peace and maintaining order, as well as that it was not able to coerce any taxes upon the states and would need states' permission to do anything, which left the government really inefficient. And so they met again in the Philadelphia Convention of 1787 to write up a new form of government, which was the new US Constitution. The US Constitution instead split up the main central government into 3 parts: judicial, legislative, and executive. Legislative creates laws, and they have the power to override veto, which is where the executive denies a law to pass, and they also have the power to impeach the president and approve appointments, ensuring that not all the power is given onto the executive. Legislatives also have powers to impeach judges or confirm or deny appointments, having power over judicial to keep each other in check. Now next, we have executive. The executives are like federal agencies, the FBI. The president is the head of the executive branch. Executives can veto bills, that means deny certain laws of passing, and executives appoint federal judges for the judicial department. Now third is judicial. The judicial part of the government is of the Supreme Court and also includes lower federal courts like courts of appeal and district courts. They can declare laws or executive actions unconstitutional, keeping executives or legislatives in check. Okay, so that was the context. Now I'm going to explain to you my main research question, which is to what standards of justices that the new US Constitution was written upon and how the new law has been formed. So, number 1 is, as I already mentioned, tyranny. And number 2 is liberty or / independence. So, basically, about the tyranny, I already explained it mostly. They split up the powers into 3 powers of the government in order to avoid tyranny from one person holding all of the power and control over the nation. About liberty and freedom, it was an idea that was popularized in the Revolution. At the time, there was a pamphlet called Common Sense by Thomas Paine, where he began popularizing the idea of independence, that all men are created equal, to not prioritize one person over the other. And this blended over into the idea of shared power in the government, but it also went for the idea of freedom and equality for all, that everybody had their own voice. It made its way into the Declaration of Independence and later into the Bill of Rights, where there would be the official and legal documentation of liberty and freedom for America's citizens. In summary, from the creation of the US Constitution, they have made the 3 powers of the government, which is judicial, legislative, and executive. Judicial interprets laws, legislative makes laws, and executive enforces laws. Last but not least, as I just mentioned, the justices and the standards the new US Constitution and the laws were made from were to avoid tyranny and for liberty and freedom for all. Thank you and goodbye.